It is 8:11 Newstalk Sauga 960 Raw. Mike Richards along with Dave Bastl. And of course, this is a Tuesday, which means it is Meet the Steelheads, which we have loved doing. And of course, each and every week we learn just a little more. This is Sharpe, who's joining us here after a big win against and in Kingston. How you doing, Chaz?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, wow. So tell us, you finally, there's actually playing in front of human beings, which has got to be a good feeling. And you've waited a long time to do this and probably go out and hit someone. So just tell me what that felt like, because it must have been you must have been dying to do this.
Yeah, it's been a long 18 months, obviously, and it just feels really good to just be back in the competitive nature and be back with the guys trying to win games. It just feels great.
How long did it click in to just sort of be comfortable with doing this again? Because I know it took a while, and camp is a little bit different, and preseason a little bit different. How long did it take you for that switch to go off where it just felt like you were back to normal?
We were lucky because we had a long camp, so I could kind of get back into the mindset throughout the camp, and then it really kicked in once the exhibition games started happening. Full 20-minute period games and full hitting, full contact, so it felt really good.
What was it like? And congratulations to you and your teammates on a massive win in Kingston this weekend, which is a great way to start off the season. What was that like? And you guys really jumped on it from the word go. Just kept on peppering and kept on scoring. It was amazing to watch. What was going through your mind? And of course, the opposition definitely had some firepower on that end, but they just weren't able to do anything that night.
Yeah, I think from top to bottom, like our whole team was playing great. Everybody was going. We were really motivated. And we started off with a big minute PK as Brand got kicked out of the game right away. So I think as soon as we killed that penalty, it kind of gave the boys motivation. And then from there, we were just moving all night.
Yeah. So, and when you look at that D, because what's the average height back there? I mean, was it like 7 feet? Like
yeah,
how you guys are pretty tall back there.
Yeah, we have a huge blue line. I think like 5 of our D are probably over 6'2".
which is great, because you get that feeling of, when players, certainly when they're going to come here to Mississauga, that they're in for not a very fun night. I mean, that's sort of when you look at certain coaches, what their calling card is. If I look at JR and what he has done, then he has set you guys up, I think, for success, because you all have pretty good feet, you all have pretty good hands. It's not a bunch of dancing bears back there. You guys have some really good skill. I'm just curious, a lot of times it still is about communication. Where do you think you are with that, with your pairings? Do you feel like you've got a sense of what you're supposed to be doing, how it's done this early, even though you've only played one game? Do you have a good feeling about, where that is at?
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody's buying in to the same thing, and we started off obviously pretty well this season. So I think we're just going to try to keep it rolling on that note. And yeah, I think everybody's buying into the same thing, and we all have the same goal. So should be a good season.
Chase, let's dig into some of your past here. You came out of North Central Predators and minor midgets back in the 2019 draft. What was it like when you finally were announced as a Steelhead and got a chance to sign that contract with them? And I guess the excitement of staying relatively close to where the family is, because as you know, Ontario Hockey League, you could be put almost anywhere. Heck, you could be put in the United States with a couple teams down there as well. What was it like for you?
It's great. Obviously, Mississauga is one of the teams I'd love to go to, and we had a really strong team in North Central, and I was just obviously a long, stressful day on the draft, and when Mississauga called my name, it was obviously an honor. And yeah, it's great. I love the city, love the team, love the coaches, the organization. It's all great. So I'm really really happy that I ended up here.
Now, in that district, like in the Aurelia area, like how far north does that go? Would you go as far as like Barrie, or would it go to like Midland, Penetang? Like what did that area cover for you guys?
Yeah, so we had kids on our minor midget team from all the way from Midland, Wasaga Beach, Huntsville. So is Muskoka, Bracebridge. So it's like a pretty big area. Yeah.
And the best area.
Yeah.
and the best area in the province. It's like you should have just called that team Cottage Country, because that's because it's now, of course, you didn't get to go to the legendary ODCVI. I'm sure maybe your parents might have gone there if they're a long time. Really,
Yeah,
I
my
know
dad
people.
went there.
Yeah, I mean, it was classic. It was a classic high school. I mean, my family originally is all Coldwater, Midland, Collingwood. So that area always means a lot to me. Dave spends half his time up in Blue Mountain area. Like we're huge fans. It's a great place to be from, and it's also as Dave, you just mentioned, when you have to make that transition as a young kid, when you go from Orillia to Mississauga, I mean it's kind of a big change, so for you, what was the biggest adjustment that you had to make? What was the weird thing, or what was the best thing about making this change?
Yeah, I just think there's like a lot more things to do down here. Like up in Aurelia, I have all my buddies and stuff, and we have a good time up there, obviously. But there's just like it's a whole different world down here, obviously. You have to kind of adjust your time too when you're leaving to the rink, because there's a lot more traffic down here.
There actually is traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More traffic up there. Yeah, just things like that, just little things, but yeah, it's good.
Chase, just doing some background research and talking to a number of players on the team, coaching staff, etc. It seems that you're a very fashion-forward trendsetter. Is this a good way of describing you, Chase?
Yeah.
A hipster. Nice.
And no, in a way, yeah, I guess so. You say that.
Excellent. So what? Yeah.
Do the fellas bug you about it, or do you? Because apparently you make it known too that you are the trendsetter on the team, and more people should probably dress like you. Is this true at all?
Yeah, I think I have a pretty good style. I'll give myself that.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. As I say, then you just have to start talking in third person. Like you have to go into the locker room and start saying, "Chaz Sharpe is thirsty." Chaz Sharpe, just everything Chaz Sharpe would like to sit. That's my locker. Okay, that's where Chaz sits, because you got to set that tone. So that being said, so who's the toughest guy on the team, do you think? Like, who's the one guy that you won't mess with? Who's the one guy that you think on the team you kind of think, maybe even if there's UFC, this might be the guy who goes in? Who is that person?
It's a good one. I feel like we have a couple guys, but I feel like Evan Brand probably. It's a big boy.
Yeah.
New to our team, probably wouldn't take
that. That's a good shout out for him too. Yeah.
Yeah, big time. And apparently you're into the Toronto music scene. What are some of the things you like to listen to when you're away from the ice? And does JR allow it in the dressing room? Is it open season on selecting what you want to put on the pod?
Yeah, I think there's certain times for different music. You have to pick and choose in a way, but I think I'm a big country guy too.
Okay.
Kind of surprising, but I guess I'm
I wasn't expecting that.
But when you go up that way, I mean, I'm trying to think of the country station that usually cranks out of Midland, which is pretty big up there. Because the Dock was the rock one, the classic rock one. Yeah. And then there's that country music one, 96X or whatever it was, or there's the country's big up there. So who would be your favorite artist? Like who do you like these days?
I like Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, guys like that.
Yeah. So pretty modern stuff. But what about old school? Or who do you like old school?
Not a huge old school guy.
Yeah. See, this fits the whole hipster thing though. Like you're too good for them, is what you're telling me. Yeah. You're too good for that.
You can say that.
Yeah. Well, we're thrilled for you. Yeah. So go ahead.
Sorry, Chaz, this is a big year for you, considering late birthday, draft year, and so forth. Do you put any additional pressure on yourself? Because as much as we're having fun, there's time for fun. There's time for business on the ice. There's time for day-to-day stuff to get yourself better. Do you find yourself having a little increased pressure, considering this is a big year for yourself personally?
Yeah, in a way. For sure, it's always in the back of my head, but I kind of just try to just play game by game, help our team win first, and then I can worry about that stuff at the end of the day when like everything else is done and we're winning. So
yeah.
Well, I think that's the beauty of being part of the Mississauga Steelheads, that you've had a lot of guys who have found a way to move on. You have a lot of guys who've moved on and come back and help out. You've got a coach and a general manager who has so many connections and so much networking that it's, you know, he understands where your head's at, right? He's got a really great understanding of, you know, not only what the team needs, but individual needs. But it does work for them. A lot of places don't work like this. I mean, it's people just assume every franchise is the same. Well, it's not. And I think we're very lucky here in Mississauga. I think you probably feel pretty good about being with that team. The team certainly shows it. And, you know, it's very early in the season, but as you said, you know, long camp, and you look at sort of what's in front of you. And again, the weirdness of the schedule too. Like some teams have already played like 3 games. And of course, you're now ready to go into a refurbished bowl, right? I mean, that the facility is going to be all redone. And I just got to think there's a lot of positive feelings on the team right now.
Yeah, I think after that first game especially, everybody's really excited. Like if we play like that, we're going to surprise a lot of teams this year, and felt really good. The boys were really positive after that last game.
Yeah. Let's talk about this upcoming weekend, back-to-back games on the road. What's your breakdown evaluation of the 2 games on the road that you have coming up?
Yeah, obviously 2 away games, both in our pool, and I'd say for us it'd be 2 huge games to win this weekend, and be really nice to start the year with 3 wins for sure.
Well, I'm just curious too, because you know, you could see different goaltenders on different nights currently right now. I mean, you've got some guys in camp now going into the season. It's very much, I think, underrated, that communication that goalies have with their defense, right? I mean, you know what he's going to do. He knows what you're going to do. And sometimes it's not immediate. In terms of that relationship, and again, because of trying to find which goalie, you know, is going to be what, have you found an adjustment to that kind of thing? Because it is a little bit different for you guys back there.
Yeah, I feel like we try to communicate with our goalies as much as we can, and our goalies are pretty good for that. They let us know when a guy's on us or where to move the puck often. And yeah, Joe Ranger actually started in Kingston, had a really good game. So really happy with that. And I think we have strong goalies this year for sure. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, best of luck this weekend. Looking forward to seeing a couple more W's there, and keep it up. Great talking to you this morning.
All right. Thanks for having me.
I'm looking forward to the outfits. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get there early, like when the NFL guys come in there, like, whoa, what's that tonight? That's really something. It's like Deion Sanders. Look at that. Very nice. Maybe you can bring back the platform shoes. If you could do that, man, I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe.
Yeah, because you need more height.
Yeah.
Well, look, Chaz, once again, always a pleasure. Great talking to my Aurelia, Collingwood, Central Ontario people. Always love it. My favorite area in the world. So, hey, best of luck this year, and I'm sure we'll see you at the rink.
All right. Thank you very much for having me. See you guys later.
That is Chaz Sharpe as we meet the Steelheads here this morning. Always a lot of fun. And, you know, as I said, they just get started here. Game number 1. And as far as that's concerned, winning. It's always nice to get one under your belt, and especially if it's emphatically like it was 7-2 against the Frontenac. This is how I say it, Dave. The Frontenac.
The Frontenac.
Yeah.